Chapter 2. The sprawling gardens of the icon were half the size of a football field. I went past the evening walkers trying to finish their daily step count target to the play area with the swings, slides, seesaws, and sandpit where children were building sandcastles. Maids and doting mothers were keeping an eye on their little ones. My parents sat on a bench near the play area. As I came closer, I saw someone sitting with them. It was a woman, probably in her 20s. I noticed her striking look first. She had a fair complexion, smooth skin, and a cascade of brown curls. Her high cheekbones and full lips were visible even from a distance. She wore a white salwar kameez with blue embroidery on it. Were my desperate parents trying to set me up? Were they going to suggest a match? Keshav, come. My father had noticed me. Meet Alia. My mother beamed. She stays in Tower B, right opposite our Tower C. Hello. Alia extended her hand. Hi, I said, shaking hands with her. I felt like an idiot in the bathroom slippers and an old college vest. Alia wasn't just beautiful, she was stunning. She was might be a model level gorgeous. Her hazel eyes, a mix of light brown and green, were her most electric feature. Auntie was just telling me about you, Alia said. I wondered what my mother had said about me. Had she told her what a loser I was, or had she marketed me bit? For once, I liked my parents' choice. Oh, really? I said. Sit with us, Keshav beta, my mother said in an unusual sweet tone. The four of us sat in a row on the beach. I wondered what my parents expected me to do. Chat her up. Which flat in Tower B in yours? I said, forcing myself to make conversation. 16th floor, apartment 1602. How about you? We are in Tower C unit 703, one floor above you. I pointed to our apartment high above us to our left. My parents continued to stare at both of us. I couldn't talk under this pressure. Fortunately, she could. Auntie told me you are a detective, Alia said, brushing a lock of hair away from her forehead. Yes, I have helped the police with a couple of cases, I said. He also went to IIT Delhi, my mother said in a non sequitur to pad up the resume. Nice, she said. Tell me about your detective business. What exactly do you do? All kind of cases. Though the more serious the crime, the better it is. More fun, I said and smiled. Fun? She looked surprised. Sorry, I meant those are the one I look forward to the most. This detective stuff is just hobby, my father said. He is preparing for the IPS. He also worked in a software company before. Tell her properly, no, Keshav. I smiled and remained silent. She took out a small box from her handbag and opened it. There were laddus inside. Would you like one? She said. Thanks, I said, taking a tiny piece of one. Ma, we already took. She made them herself. They are amazing, Ma said. A pretty girl who talks politely to elder and make laddus doesn't get more perfect than that for Indian parents. I nodded my appreciation after tasting the little crumb. Take more, I have plenty, Alia said. She handed me a full laddu. Delicious, I said, taking a bite. They are Kerala's brown rice laddu. Not as unhealthy as you think, she said. You are from Kerala? My father said. Somehow he is always deeply interested in people's hometown or state or religion or caste. On my mother's side, my father was a Rajput from Rajasthan. I am an army kid, though grew up all over India. My parents' eyes lit up at the mention of the word Rajput and Rajasthan. If it were up to them, they would give her a shagun right there. So, you stay with your parents here? My mother said. Before Alia could answer, a small girl came running towards her from the play area. Mummy! She sang and jumped into Alia's lap. My parents' faces fell. Their disappointment expressions were so funny you could turn them into a memes. I wanted to burst out laughing but controlled myself. I brought the laddus. You like? Would you like one? Alia said. The little girl nodded vigorously. Okay, Suhana, wish everybody first. That's Rajpurohit uncle and auntie, and that's their son Keshav. Good evening, Rajpurohit uncle and auntie. Good evening, Keshav uncle, Suhana said. I had gone from prospective groom to uncle in 5 seconds flat. Hello, Betty, my mother said in a deflated voice. This is Suhana, my daughter, Alia said. My father grunted and stood up. He signaled to my mother to get up as well. I have to arrange dinner. Nice to meet you, Alia beta. Thanks for the laddus, my mother said. Alia looked surprised at their abrupt departure. You're welcome, auntie. I will bring some more Kerala sweets when I make them. My mother only smiled in response. Is daddy home? Suhana said. He's on his way. He messaged me, Alia said. You're coming or not, Lalita? My father said to my mother in a semi-stern voice. I stood up to leave. Bye, Keshav uncle, Suhana said in a cheerful voice. You should have seen your faces, Ma, both yours and dad's, I said laughing as I put some aloo matar sabzi on my plate. What nonsense, Ma said. My father didn't say a word. He just continued to eat. I recounted the story to Saurabh, who didn't seem amused going by his sullen face. I passed him the sabzi. He declined. I handed him the chapati box. He shook his hand. No food? I said, keeping the chapati box back on the table. Why? My mother said. Not hungry, Saurabh said. Did you eat junk again? Chips, Maggie? My mother said. No, excuse me please, Saurabh said and stood up. I'm tired. I'll go rest in my room. I noticed Saurabh's stroppy shoulders as he walked to his bedroom. I sent him a message. Everything's okay? My mother said, she's married, but by the grace of God, she is so beautiful, isn't she, Keshav? I said, looking up from my phone. Stop checking your phone during dinner. It's rude, Papa said. Sorry, I said, and turned to my mother. What did you say, Ma? Her eyes, her skin, her hair, so pretty, Ma said. I didn't notice, I said. Didn't notice? My mother said. This sir here is above everyone else. Why did you come down in this old waist? Don't you have any shame? What impression will it create? Papa said. How does it matter, Papa? She's married. We still have to create a good impression as neighbors. Marriage? Huh. What a joke. She would be way beyond you, even if she were single. She won't look at you twice. Golu, are you unwell? I had come to Saurabh's room after dinner. He was sitting on his bed in a t-shirt and shorts, playing Candy Crush Saga on his phone. I'm fine, he said, without looking up from his game. You're not. I jumped onto the bed next to him and snatched his phone. Hey, stop it. I almost cleared the level, Saurabh said. Tell me what's wrong. Nothing is wrong. I just didn't want to eat. Golu, you and food are like inseparable lovers. Saurabh got off the bed. He pointed at the door. Keshav, can you please leave my room? What? I said, surprised. I was joking. Lovers, is it? That's it? That's your idea of humor? Why are you acting so touchy, Golu? I'm sick of it. Saurabh screamed loud enough for my parents watching TV in the living room to hear. Sick of my jokes about you and food? Sorry, Golu, I will stop. No, I'm sick of being fat. Saurabh plonked himself on the bed and it creaked loudly. The irony of him landing with the third versus his delicate emotion about being fat was funny. However, I forced myself not to laugh. Has something happened, Saurav? I said in a soft voice. Saurav looked at me. I had a lunch date today, he said. Date during office hour? With whom? Well, with Rashmi. She worked with Vodafone, ex-client of CyberSafe. She was amazing, smart and attractive. A 1 hour lunch at Pizza Express stretched to 3 hours. I made her laugh so much. Great. What happened then? I sent her a message later, told her I had enjoyed meeting her, and asked her out again. Saurav took his phone and opened WhatsApp. Here, read this long message she sent me. I read Rashmi's message out loud. Saurav, I enjoyed meeting you as well. You are good, fun, intelligent, and kind. However, relationships are about being honest. To be honest, I don't think I could be physically attracted to you. You big frame, yes. Some girls may find it cuddly and cute, but I see only future heart attacks. I could try to ignore the lack of fitness, but it will always bother me. Also, I used to be overweight once. It took me huge pains to lose weight. If my partner doesn't eat healthy, I had be tempted lose my resolve again. Hence, it's better we remain just friends. No hard feelings. I kept the phone aside and remained silent. Bad, isn't it? Saurav said. Sucks. Friend zone. It's over. Full mark for honesty, though. What do I do, bhai? Saurav said. He sounded like he was going to cry. This is brutal, but maybe you needed this. I need Rashmi. I smiled. Will you help me get this bhai? Be my trainer. You are so fit and disciplined. I want to be that way. I have tried in the past, Golu. You always find excuses and quit. I won't this time, promise, Saurav said, pinching his neck like little children do. I did not want to be trapped again. Making Saurav stick to a diet was like trying to turn an alcoholic gambler into a monk. Say something, bhai. I'm not sure. Let me think about it, I said before leaving his room.